Hey all, welcome to the first video breakdown where we will take a look at my matchup against Indiana's #1 puller, Joey Melendez. Spoiler alert, I lose, but the purpose of the video is to not only provide insight as to what it is that I need to work on as a competitor going forward, to also delineate the video and the strategies for the newcomers that might be interested in the sport or is just now getting involved with the sport. Without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so this is a best of 5 matchup here, so you're going to see 3 matches here. See, I just totally missed the go on that. And he just like completely controls my hand throughout the entire way, and as I was going sideways. So, so regarding the first matchup there, Christina, she did a pretty solid job, all in all. Like, I was only there for all the super matches, and I didn't stay for the tournament, but it looked like that she did a pretty solid job. That said, when you are a puller, and you are known to be kind of a fast puller, like right on the go, and you want to just get the jump on your opponent, it is best to ask for the cadence of the match. So what that means is I had asked Christina prior to the match what the cadence was going to be, and she told me it was don't move, go. And there are many ways that refs can start the match, and mostly it's ready, go, or don't move, go, but there are also the variances of how fast they say it. And what's funny is that I'm also used to a lot of refs saying, don't move, ready, go. So when she actually told me in advance that the cadence was don't move, go, and for some reason I was still waiting for her. When she said don't move, I was still waiting for her to say don't move, ready, go. So needless to say, that's not like me for those that know me, so I totally missed the go there. But either way, it was not going to matter, and you're about to see here in just a second. So Joey made a pretty good... He adjusted very good with me hitting straight sideways. I'm going to explain that after the breakdown here. Match number 2, this is where it gets pretty interesting. This is the only time where I really give him a run for his money, but like he pulls back so hard. He's got a lot more lats, but I was just surprised I was able to hold my own. Like, he just pulled me straight back from my winning side, and he just capitalizes on that. It was really it was a really fun matchup, that one was. So it's like, not only do I give a pretty solid first surge, but even my second surge, he still managed to keep that lock, and his hand was just so freaking strong. What I did that time was, his hand was just so much bigger and so much stronger that I really accentuated the supination to try and get away from his wrist and his hand as much as possible. But the problem is that he's got a lot of holding power, and it was more than, he was able to hold more than I was able to pin. In addition, he's got the means in terms of the lat to pull me over to his side. I mean, notice how compromised my arm is right here. Like, I am all the way on his side. Now, even though that I got decent amount of holding power, in the long run, it really does not serve me well. So I mean, he utilized the lats to his advantage, in addition to having the wrist. But either way, I was still pretty proud that I was able to kind of hold my own the way that I did. But he certainly earned that win by taking me all the way to a defensive side to win from there. So match number 3, looks like we're both trying to go for the top roll. I certainly was, and in the straps at that point, even though I got the jump on him, everything that he did, like he isolated my bicep all those matches with his wrist, and at that point, I think my bicep might have just been too winded at that point. So there was really nothing more that I could have done. Like, clearly, the better, stronger puller won that day. First and foremost, thank you, Joey Melendez, for allowing me the opportunity to get to pull you and see where I stood. You clearly, he is the #1 Indiana puller for a reason. But where I think that Joey really excelled that day is he is naturally a bigger and stronger guy than me, but instead of using that strength to overpower me, he used it to capitalize on trying to attack where I was most weak. So my game, at least that day, was like going straight sideways or to dive down. But two things that he did that really that was noticeably a great counter for what I was doing. So the first thing I noticed was his elbow positioning regarding the first match. So it looked like that he started a little past center, like he set his elbow a little past center, and upon the go, where I was hitting straight sideways, he shifted his elbow to go along with my hit. What that essentially does is, if you were to set your elbow, right here and try and catch the person, you are basically in a defensive position. But if you go here, go with the hitter, you maintain that post, and therefore you have a shorter distance to go to regain control of the match. So that was the first point that I thought was a pretty brilliant tactic to counter. Second point was just his wrist position all around, and because that he had a stronger wrist than I did, he was able to get me from kind of a solid hook position of my wrist to kind of compromising my wrist going back that way. So if you're ever holding a dumbbell, notice how if you hold it like this versus if you're turned like this, it's even though that it kind of has become a bit of second nature for me to hold that way in the long run, it's really not a very viable option for me. So, but all around, he was just able to maintain control of the hand, whether we were going in a top roll position or a hook. Maintaining the curl was just more than enough to be able to hold on, whether he was on the defense or whether he was on the offense. So I thought that was also pretty good from a strategic standpoint. To Mr. Melendez, it was a pleasure to get the opportunity, and I've got my work cut out going forward, but I do hope to pull with you again at some point, and hopefully this has been a great learning experience, not only for me, but for those that are watching and want to get involved with the sport.